Hey Stampers, it's Diane Dimich with DDStamps.com, and we are ready to get started. I am going to just do a quick check to make sure that everything's working all the way around on my various sites that I'm on, and then we're just going to go ahead and get started. I've got a couple of tutorials planned tonight, some new technique, and hopefully some fun stuff. So if you're out there and you can hear me, why don't you post in the comment section or where you are. If you're on YouTube or Google+, I can get those comments now. I've kind of figured out a way. I'm hoping it works. Or if you're on my Facebook, go ahead and post where you're from and that you made it so that I will know that people are out there and we can get started. So I'll just give it a few seconds just to make sure. Okay, I thought this was going to work on my website, but it doesn't look like, well, maybe it is now. And hopefully some fun stuff. So if you're out there and you can hear me, that means it's working up on my website. That's a good thing. Are we on Facebook yet? Is anybody out there on Facebook that can tell me if we're out there? It's gotten started. Mine just keeps doing the spinning thing. Okay, I refreshed it, it works, so let's try it. Ladies, if you're out there, give me a little sign that you're hearing me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I hope that you enjoy yourself. I hope you've learned some new things. If you have questions, please feel free to answer. Or, yeah, you guys go ahead and answer the questions because you have them. Hello. So if you have questions, please ask, and I will do what I can to help you, and I will do what I can to answer them. And if I can't get the answer, I don't know the answer, I promise I won't make it up. I will find out the answer, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. If I could get, yep, I see people are starting to come in now, so that's awesome, great. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I did do a little slide thing to help me today, to keep me on track, and to make sure that we keep things moving. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up that slide. And there we go. Okay, so this is just me being live and answering questions and hopefully teaching you some tips and tricks and things to do with your Stampin' Up! Products. I will be watching the comment section of the Hangouts on YouTube, Google+, and on Facebook. So hopefully you're on one of those, and if you have a question, just pop it into that box. And I may not get the answer right away, but I will keep checking back. So thank you, and let's go. I just wanted to show a quick picture. Today I was going to show a beautiful picture of the town that I live in and all the lovely fall. And this is what I woke up to this morning. A whole ton of snow. We got quite a bit. It snowed all day, although right now the sun is starting to clear and the trees are starting to drop. But that big tree that's in the front of my yard right there, that is covered with apples, and I don't think that they're going to survive. So, Barb, you're funny. I see one of my friends across the street is on, and she said, "I see you cleaned your stamp room from earlier today. You must have been here." Yes, I have cleaned my stamp room, and hopefully it stays that way for the moment. I am getting ready to do a big Stampin' Up! Event, and I just want to make sure that it's clean while I make a bigger mess tomorrow, packing everything up. So anyway, does anybody have any questions before we get started? Anybody have any questions? If you do, post them in the box. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that you can hear me, Brenda. Thank you for letting me know. That's a good thing. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started with my very first video tutorial. And that is using an embossed resist technique. I made this card with it here. It's a lot of fun. And let me find the video that I wanted to share with you. Now you're going to see me for a second. Hello. Okay. Sorry. Oh, okay, I see it's not. Hey, Stampers! It didn't pop up, but I think you could hear it. So let me go ahead and try that one more time. You're going to see me for a second. And then hopefully you're going to see. Oh, that's not it. Oh, come on. There it is. Let's hope that, yay. Diane Dimmish here with ddStamps.com. Today I'm going to show you a resist technique using some of Stampin' Up's great new stencils. And so this is the dot stencil. That's actually called dots and stripes. So there comes with a striped stencil and a dot stencil. I'm going to go ahead and use the dot stencil today and do a little resist technique. So to begin with, because I'm going to do some embossing, I'm going to go ahead and take my embossing buddy and just run that right across my cardstock. And that's just going to help take some of the static out of your cardstock and the oils from your fingers. And then I'm going to take the stencil, and I'm actually going to go a little crooked here. Oh, I hope my head wasn't in the way. I'm just going to lay that stencil down. Now, I could tape it, but I don't actually have tape sitting here next to me, so I'm not going to bother. And then I'm going to take my Versamark ink, and I'm going to go ahead and pat ink into those dots all over my cardstock. I want to make sure that I get that cardstock good and inked. And then I'm going to remove that, and then I'm going to take clear embossing powder. You're not going to be able to see this because it is clear, and I'm just going to dump this over the top of those inked dots. I don't know if you can, I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me dump this back into the jar so that I save as much of it as I can. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat set this. I'm going to do that off camera because you don't need to listen to that. So I'll be right back. Okay, now that I've got that embossed, you can kind of see, I think if I show you this, it's shiny where the embossing is. I'm going to go ahead and come in with 3 different colors. And I'm going to use Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, and Bermuda Bay. And I'm just going to start with my lightest color. I'm going to do a little ombre effect here, hopefully. And ink this up, and I'm just going to go ahead and sponge the Pool Party onto this card. But you can see how when I sponge that, the dots resist that ink. And then I'm going to come in with Coastal Cabana, and you'll see on my Coastal Cabana, I actually chop up my sponges and then add a little piece of cardstock tag so that I always use this sponge with the Coastal Cabana. I know, kind of weird, but it makes it easier for me. And then the last color I'm going to come in with is Bermuda Bay. And you can sponge it and make it as dark or as you'd like. But there you go. You can see I have an ombre effect. It gets lighter as it goes up. And if you wanted to, you could come back in and just add more ink and make it even darker. But just a fun resist technique. You could do it with anything. But I thought our stencils would be fun. So I'll make this into a card and post it at the front of my website, or on my website, and also on the front of this video. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, so there's the first technique that I did. It's that embossed resist technique. It's a fun technique, and it looks great with anything. This is actually the card that I ended up making, where I just added a little bit of red ribbon and a stamped image made into a banner, and then, of course, another little piece that I stamped with on red cardstock, and then, of course, a candy dot. And so that's the very first technique, and I have to tell you, while you guys were watching that, I was trying to keep up on where everybody is coming from, and I have to tell you, we got people from all over the world, which is very exciting for me. And lots of comments. So I've got people over on YouTube, and I've got people on my blog, and I've got people on Facebook, and I'm going to try and keep up, and I hope that I do. Just a little yeah, it's pretty amazing. So just a little idea of where we're coming from. This was the message that I got shortly before we started, and it made me laugh. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Oh well, I tried. It's not going to work. But anyway, I just want you to know that the questions are coming up. I actually got a question from somebody in Portugal about what time we started. So I hope she made it, and I hope she made it here on time. I'm going to keep monitoring the questions in the hopes that I can pull them up and show them to you. And that was going to be my new trick this week, but it's not going to work. So that's all right. That is A-okay. I just want to make sure that we're getting everybody's answers. So anyway, I'll look one more time for questions. Are you patting the sponge or dabbing? Judy asked a question if on that video if I was patting it or if I was sponging it, and I have to be honest with you. When I sponge, mostly what I do is I take my sponge in my hand and I do a circular motion. Get some ink on it and circular motion. And a lot of people, you'll see on my, if you noticed on the video, I have some tabs of color that I put on the end of my sponges. I did that just so that I always use the same sponge in the same color. And then I just grab onto that little tab and do a circular motion. It doesn't, you know, it's up to you. Circular motion, you're going to get a softer look to your sponging. If you dab it, you're going to get the texture of the sponge and the uneven of the inking. So I hope that answers your question, Judy. And if it didn't, ask again or say you don't make any sense, and I will try to make sense of it all. So, the other thing I wanted to tell people is if you're on a mobile device or you're somewhere where you can't do a comment, if you hashtag DDStamps live, hashtag DDStamps live, that should come up in my box, and so that I will be able to, so I'll be able to keep track of everybody. That's my goal. Make sure everybody gets their questions answered. Any other questions that we have? Did I miss anybody's? Oh, Amy, you made it tonight. I missed you too. I wish that when you were back in town a while back that I had been able to get up there. So I'm sorry I missed you, but I'm glad that you're on here, and that's awesome. Any other questions? That was your question too. Okay, so Laura had the same question as how I sponged, and I sponged in a circular motion. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was in that video, I thought I was doing something really cool by putting the stencil sideways because I wanted my dots to go diagonal. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I'd been straight or if I'd been diagonal. It all would have worked the same. So there, what I really wanted was the diagonal color going up the card. So it started dark down here and got lighter with the different colors. So, hey, I know I have a question. Does anybody have a birthday this month? This is September. Anybody on that has a birthday right now? If you do, post it up, and if there's more than one, we'll do something about that. No, I'm not going to sing, I promise. So that would be horrid. Okay, so most of the other things are just people letting me know that they're here, letting me know that they made it. So that's awesome. Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. I'm going to pull back up my little tutorial here that's helping me stay on track because I desperately needed that. So the next one was questions. Does anybody have any questions? And of course, we've asked that 12 times already. But honestly, I really seriously want you to ask away. And I will do the best I can to keep track of those. Okay, so, oh, Vicki, how are you? I'm glad you made it too. It's awesome. You missed the picture of my front yard full of snow this morning. Check that out. It's crazy. But it's Red Lodge. Okay, well, it looks like Julie Grassel, you have a birthday. And if you send me your address in either a message or an email or somehow get a hold of me, you can even, well, I don't know if you want to put it up here. But anyway, get a hold of me, put it up on Facebook, send me a message, and I will send you the birthday card that I made and maybe a little birthday gift inside there. So send me your birthday. Okay, so far I think we're doing good on questions. It's a little harder to stay up to date with everybody at this point. Gosh, we got people from Delaware, Florida. All right. So far, so good. Ohio. Cool. Okay, so our next project is Christmas. Oh, you have to be on the right slide here, sorry. My next project was this Tips with the Wondrous Wreath, and I was going to go with a total fall theme this time around with all the cards having to do with fall and fall colors. And so this was a fall card that I did with the Wondrous Reset, and after I did it, I learned some things about the Wondrous Reset that will make it easier to work with. And I did a quick little video up on YouTube. I just wanted to share that with you tonight. Just some quick tips. It's a fun set, and it can be used for all different seasons. And at the end of it, I'll show you a project that I did where I actually did all the different seasons. All 4 seasons are on there. So let me pull up that video. Here we go. Let's hope this works. Oh, I love it. I love it when it starts to look like it's going to do what it's supposed to do. Of course, I shouldn't speak too soon because you never know. Let's see. Hi Stampers, Diane Dimmish here with DailyStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you how I did the wreath for this. Nope. Okay, but I caught it quick, so I think I can figure this out. Much better. Card here, using Wondrous Wreath and the matching framelits that go with it. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. And one of the things I just wanted to mention is the Wondrous Wreath stamp set is a photopolymer set, so it's clear. And one of the things that I do with my photopolymer sets is they come on window sheets in between them in these cases, and I just glue the window sheet right behind the case here, and then I just add my photopolymers into this case and they stick to that, and then I know where they are and they're easy to get to, and it's kind of hard to pull them out between those 2 pieces of cellophane. So that's just what I do to make it a little bit easier to work with. And I also like to use my paper piercing mat, which just gives it just a little bit more cushion when using the stamps. And so one of the things that you're going to do when you're going to find with these photopolymers, especially this new one, Stampin' Up! Has added this little tab to the top. And basically all that is just a little marker for you, so that if you're using the stamp set, and no matter where you stamp it, however you stamp it, wherever that little notch is, when you're doing the second layer, it's easy to line up. So if I'm going this way with it, then I'm going to line the second layer up the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and come in with some Pear Pizzazz ink. And I like to take when using my photopolymers, I like to take and lay the stamp upside down and add the ink to the top with just a light tap, so I don't have ink everywhere. Now I'm going to have that notch at the top, and then you can see it as it goes across. As it goes across the paper, you can actually see it through the stamp. But that cushion just gives it just a little bit more, like that. I'm just going to pull these off for now. I'll clean them later. And then I'm going to come in and add my next one. And you can see this has the notch on it too. So I know that the notch has to go up. This time I'm going to come in with a different color ink though. This time I'm going to go ahead and use a little old olive. And I'll just ink those up. Come back in here, and of course when I go to put that so that it's facing, that notch is facing the same way, you'll be able to see exactly where those leaves line up. And go ahead and stamp down. And then when you pull up, you get the two-tone effect. I love that. It's really fun. It looks great. And then I'm going to come in with the last one is just some berries. And I'm going to add this onto my stamp. And again, this one has a notch on it too, so you know which how to put the berries on to make it line up. And this time I'm going to come in with a little cherry cobbler and stamp down. And that's how you get the three-tone look of that wreath. With the 3 different stamp sets. It makes it really fast. And of course this would make a beautiful card just left right here onto this piece of cardstock and stamped, but you can see where I did get a little bit of ink here and there. That's, I think, was from my finger. But one of the things that Stampin' Up! Did with these new framelits, which is fabulous, is I'm going to come in here with my magnetic plate and then one of my boards, and you can see my cutting pads are pretty nasty looking, but Stampin' Up! Has put that notch into the framelits too, so that it's very easy to line those up. Knowing that notch, that I stamped them all with that notch facing that way. So you put that one in, and then you can do the same thing with this, with that notch there. Just makes it super easy to line up those framelits, and then put the other pad on and run them through the Big Shot. And then when you come on the other side, whoops, you're just going to go ahead and pull out that framelit, pull off the framelits, and you've got a beautifully stamped and cut out wreath. Very fast and very easy. It goes pretty quickly. Now there's one more little tip I wanted to show you with these particular framelits. So let me go grab a piece of cardstock. Okay, so I went and I grabbed just a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock, and I'm going to lay that down, and then I'm going to take a piece of wax paper and lay that down, and I actually get just the cheap wax paper. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. And then I'm going to go ahead, especially for these words, the Noel and the Joy, if they have the wax paper in there, it comes out a lot easier. So I'm going to layer those two, and then bring back the Big Shot. Run it through the machine. And then, when I take this off, I'm just going to pop the framelit off and pop out some of these, but you see it's kind of stuck in there. So what you need to have is a little paper piercing tool. And once you have that paper piercing tool, you can just go ahead and just poke right into the holes on the back of this, and that will pop the word right out of there. And that comes out. And you have a cut wax paper that you can do something with if you choose to. But that's how easy it is to do the words that are in there. I missed a little, there we go. So then you have Joy, cut and ready to go. So what I did on this card is the Noel with the wreath, but I did one for each season. And so we have your Christmas season, spring, fall, and summer. So just different looks using different colors, and I have seen people do some beautiful wreaths with all different colors. So pick a couple colors and play with it and have fun. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If you haven't already done so, you should sign up for my newsletter or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so there was the second technique, and I just wanted you to see how I think the last time we did this, I showed a video where they cut the inside and the outside of the wreath separately, and you can actually do it all in one time. And I love that look. I love that wreath. And here's some of the cards that I did with that wreath so that you can see them. We've got winter or Christmas, spring, fall, and summer. And I have seen cards done in all different colors of blues and purples and oh my gosh, any color in our palette, and they looked fabulous. So, you know, don't just limit yourself to the regular Christmas wreath. Wreaths happen all year. I want to do one for Halloween. I actually want to do one for every season because I think it'd be a lot of fun. And just so you're aware, this set and the framelets come as a bundle, and so you can save 15% if you buy them together for $43.25, and they're also available in Spanish or French. But you can save some money if you bundle them together and get them. We had a couple people that had birthdays that were on other sites, not just the one that I was monitoring the closest. So we had a birthday for Diane Fox, Julie Grassel, and Lydia Walker. All three of you had birthdays that I'm aware of at this point. And so if you send me an email, send me a message on Facebook, you know, whatever, get a hold of me, send me your address, and I will send you out. Not everyone's going to get the same birthday card, but I've got plenty of birthday cards around here, and I would love to send you a little gift for your birthday and birthday card and wish you a happy birthday. So if anybody have any questions about the Wondrous wreath stamp set and the framelets, I'm telling you, those little improvements that Stampin' Up! made a huge difference. It really changes it up and makes it easier to use. With, you know, the little tab on it and then the tab onto the framelets. And the words, I'm telling you, use the wax paper. It makes a huge difference for anything that's real detailed with your framelets. You could do that with any of your framelets. Just a little piece of wax paper laid there in between as a sandwich, and it makes the world of difference. So let me pop up the next frame here. We have questions. Anybody have any questions? Anybody feeling like you're learning something today? Just let me know. Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to talk about tonight were some of the new products that have come out in just this last week. There was, well, actually this one came out 2 weeks ago. This is the Yeehaw, the photopolymer stamp set. I just think it's adorable. It's Western. Got a Western flair to it. Kind of fun. And I love the little projects. What a great little stamp set for various birthday parties for boys and girls, and just for the fun of it. Of course, being from Montana, we are way into the cowboy stuff, so it's fun to see this set. I really loved it. The other, I wanted to show you the whole set too, so you can see all the various stamps that are in it. It has a lot. There's 25 different pieces. This is not shown full size. It's a little bit bigger than what's actually shown. It says it's shown at 70%, but I don't even think it's that. It just depends on how big of a screen you're looking at. It's $25.95, but cute set. It's got a lot of fun. I love the barbed wire. So just a lot of fun in there. Okay, the other set that came out this week, I love this one too. This one is called You're Wonderful. It's a photopolymer stamp set. It's got this big, wonderful image. I just love it. And then little banners, and then all these little stamps that can go in there. And I love this particular one here. I actually have, I think this is posted up on my blog this week, but it is, this one here is stamped in the baked brown sugar and then quickly clear embossed, and it just gives it that dull look, antique look. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So those are two of, and then this is actually what the stamp set looks like. And this is actually bigger, depending on your screen size. But you can see that big, huge, wonderful with the banners, and then all these other little images that fit inside there and some flowers. And these would be fabulous. This is a fabulous set to go with the blendabilities. If you haven't tried those yet, you may want to try those. Sorry, I had to get a drink of something so I didn't have to have such a dry throat. But this is a fun set. So I have one more video to show, and this is actually one of my favorite videos. This is one of my favorite techniques. And I've done it before for people, but this was a stamp set that desperately needed it for this one, although this is a fun stamp set and you can do anything with it. Any color works. But I love this seasonally scattered stamp set, and I wanted to get those fall leaves to really look with lots of different fall colors in them without having to sit down with markers. And so I did a video to show you how to do that, and I think you're going to like it. No, I think you're going to love it. I hope you do. Let me see if I can find the video fairly quickly. Now you know exactly what's going to happen here. I'm going to go ahead and get it started, and then I'm going to have to go back in and change things up. I don't know why it does that. Anyway, we'll get it. Here we go. Okay, this is how to make your own ink pad. Hey Stampers, Diane Devitt here with ddStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you a technique using the stamp set Seasonally Scattered. This is a great set. It has a thank you stamp, and then it also has a love one and a merry one. And the technique that I'm going to show you today could be used with any of those stamp sets, but it's kind of a fun technique. You make your own stamp pad. And so what I've got here is just a sheet of wax paper. I don't know, my hope is that it's going to protect my surface underneath. Not that it matters because I'm just using some scrap paper down there. But I thought if you're using it on a table, you might want to make sure that you have some form of something to a barrier. A piece of felt, and this is just a small piece of felt that I've actually folded in half to make a double layer. The stamp, some StazOn, and some reinkers. And so what I'm going to do to begin with is take this stamp, and I'm just going to kind of line it up there. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking a Sharpie, and I'm drawing a line. Whoops. Make sure you draw the line onto the felt. That's just going to give me an idea of placement for my stamp when you see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up the whole stamp with StazOn, and I'm going to stamp it right onto this piece of felt, right in between those lines. That's just like a guide. Stamp that on there, and then you can see where you get the image of the stamp. And then, once that's dried, it doesn't take very long, I'm going to go ahead and take reinkers, and I'm just going to draw on here with the reinkers where I want these colors to be. This is Hello Honey. I'm using Hello Honey. Let me get some on here. And as you can see, I'm just putting it onto leaves that are around on this stamp. Get this one down here. And then a little pumpkin pie. And I think I'll make some of these swirly gigs. Pumpkin pie. Cajun Craze. And I am putting some of the darker color by the thank you. I'm going to make this one Cajun Craze too, this whole thing here. And this one here. Kind of forgot where I put some of the colors because once they're on the felt, they look the same. And then Mossy Meadow. Now you want to make sure that you get all of the images. I'll make this one Mossy Meadow too, this long one here, and this one here. Okay, you want to make sure you're using a clean stamp again, so go ahead and clean that StazOn off. Then you're going to go ahead and use this as an ink pad. And so I'm going to line this up right between those lines. And I'm going to tap it a few times just because I want to make sure that those inks get blended. And let's see what we got. And when you stamp it down, you get a really fall-looking stamp. And you can kind of see a couple spots where I didn't get ink, but the more that you use it, the more blended it gets. And so your thank you will come out. It's really pretty. And you can get quite a few inkings from one ink pad like this. So I think I got 20 cards, which seems like a lot to some people, but when I'm doing my thank yous for my customers for the month, 20 is nothing. And so if you're interested and you want to get one of these cards this month, go ahead and place an order with me. This is going to end up being my thank you card. I will post a picture of what it turns out to look like. I love these fall colors all blended together. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you haven't already done so, go ahead and sign up for my newsletter at www.ddistamps.com. Thanks, and have a great day. Okay, so there is one of my absolute favorite techniques, which is making your own ink pad with any stamp. And you can use any stamp like that. Just make sure when you're stamping on the felt that you're using the Stays-On ink, because that's going to dry and stay permanent, and then when you start using your inkers on there, it's not going to bleed. Because if you use regular black, you're going to end up with a muddy mess. But I will tell you, I ended up making the thank you card. This is it. And I have to tell you that I sat there that day and stamped, I mean, we're talking gobs of these. I don't know, I think there's 40. And they're all, it's funny because they start to look different. They started to lighten up, they started to blend a little bit differently. But this is my project. My next project is cleaning up. I'm so impressed with my clean table, I can't stand it. My next project is putting these cards all together with the ribbon and the cardstock. And so I just want to let you know that this was my thank yous for this month. I'd love to send you one. So, oh, there's Abby. She had to come in and say hello. Hi, Abby. Anyway, go ahead and lay down. It's funny because she comes in every time I have a party. Okay, there were a couple of things that I noticed that people were asking. If anybody has any questions, holler. Well, don't holler because your husbands will wonder what you're doing. But go ahead and post them. Yeah, I have a lot of people liking that technique. I just love it. I'm telling you what, it is great, and it works great with any kind of a solid stamp. Like I said, this one has got a lot of, I'm going to pull it up so you can see it here. So you can see where it's got a lot of the, here, let's pull this one up because it actually shows the card. And then these are the images, but these are little tiny hearts, which would be really cute with this one. Or the snowflakes, which are, of course, all done in blues or purples, would be absolutely gorgeous. But I just love it because it makes those bolder stamps that have lots and lots of images on there. You can put lots of different color without having to marker each one. Not that I don't mind markering each one, but when I want to make a lot of cards in a short amount of time, that's a great way to do it in the fall. Oh, Carol has a dog named Abby too. Our Abby's a little old. She's up there. She's almost 12, and she's a lab. And so people tell me that that's old for a lab. But I'm telling you what, she acts like a puppy, so I'm not going to worry about her because I had to laugh. I took her to the vet. She lost 5 pounds this year, and I was like, dang, I wish I would have. No, sorry. But she still acts like a puppy, so it's all good. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? I'm just trying to keep, how do I come up with the techniques? Laura asked how I come up with the techniques. Oh, Laura, I've been a demonstrator for 18 years, and so I have a whole head full of information and techniques that I've done over the last 18 years. This technique with the felt, I probably learned, I don't know, I should ask Barb. She's on here, my neighbor. Probably about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I taught this technique. And what I kind of do is, what's old becomes new again, and so some of those older techniques, people just, I mean, I have new people all the time, and so I wish that I had kept a book so that I could write down everything that I've ever taught, but I just This one came to me the other day. I wanted to make this this thank you. I wanted to use this thanks in my card, but I didn't want it just to be all one color, and I of course didn't want to marker it. And then it occurred to me, hello, make your own stamp pad. You can also do it with just blotches, and some people call it the baby wipe technique, and you use a baby wipe. I prefer to use the felt when I'm doing this technique because the ink doesn't blend as much as a baby wipe does, because the felt's dry, where a baby wipe is wet to begin with, and so then sometimes it bleeds into each other. But it, you know, just different techniques. And I'm always learning. I'm always out looking for what people are doing and what's new. So that's how I come up with my techniques. I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question, Laura. Okay, so are there any more questions? Anybody? Anybody? We're going to get close here to being done. So if I don't have any more questions, I do have a few more things to share with you, so don't go running off yet. Now, I just had somebody from the UK say she has to go to bed. She can't stay up anymore. She has to work. It's 2:15 there, or 2:40 now. She has to be up in 4 hours. I just find it funny that people are watching all over the world. So let's see. Door prize drawing. Who doesn't like a door? Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Sorry. Door prize drawing. That's what we're going to do next. For those people who are on the Facebook app, there should be a green button that says door prize drawing. If you click on that, it should open up in another screen, so you won't lose this screen. You should keep that screen too. Fill out the door prize drawing slip, and then I'll get the information. If you just fill it out with your name and whatnot, and then hit send or share, I don't know. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to look at it. I should have looked closer. But anyway, fill it out and fill out the door prize slip. There's also one on my website if you're at the DD Stamps website watching, and there are a few of you because you've been commenting. Go ahead and fill out the door prize slip so you can get into that drawing. Cool. And if you're on YouTube, you can go ahead and actually, in the YouTube comment, or not the comment section, in the description section, I did put in there a link to the door prize drawing slip. If you can find it, that's awesome. Go ahead and give that a click. And all of those should take you to a second page. It shouldn't shut you down. But if it does, come back here because I'm not leaving yet. So, any more questions on any of this stuff? What I'm going to do is I'm not going to be able to draw for that door prize. Sorry, I was just reading Joan's thing. Oh, good. Joan had a lab that lived to 17. Thank you. That makes me feel better. It'll make my kids feel better, too. Judy, I'm new to all this, but what is the purpose of the stays on? Okay, so on the felt piece that I stamped the stays on, the purpose of that is to give you the image of exactly where you want to put that refill. Does that make sense? So you stamp the image in the stays on, and then you know where, like if you're stamped an image that had leaves and flowers, then you would know where to put the flower colors and where you would put the leaf colors. It's just there to help you put the re-inker in, and then the 2 black lines that I drew on there is just a guide so that I know that that stamp goes, if it goes down between those 2 lines, I'm going to be darn close to exactly where I want that ink to go. I hope that answers your question, Joan, or Judy, excuse me. But yeah, that it helps to have those 2 lines, and then the stays on, of course, is to make sure that you get your re-inker exactly where you want it. Okay, back to the door prize drawing. I'm going to draw the door prize on Sunday because that's what I'm going to close out this actual party, is Sunday night of this week. And I will then draw for a door prize, and somebody will win. And I will tell you that I think I did a workshop a couple weeks ago. I don't know if Molly's on tonight. I haven't seen her name. She was going to be here, but Molly won, and we gave away the Good Greetings stamp set. It's a great, big, it's like 19, 20-piece stamp set of greetings. And that she won, and she was very excited. She got it today, so that was exciting for her. Any other questions? Okay. There's no other questions. I did want to let you know, so don't forget to fill out your door prize slip. Drawing will be on Sunday. I wanted to let people know that this month I have this fabulous tutorial that I'm giving away for anybody that places an order over $40. It is a whole bunch of projects done up for fall and the upcoming holidays using some of the Project Life stuff from Stampin' Up. It's great because it has cards and it has treats and it has all kinds of fun stuff. This is just some of the stuff that you're seeing is some of the project. I think it's 30 pages. It's a 30-page tutorial, so that's a lot. And I will send that to you through an email if you decide to place an order with me. Or if you're part of my club, some of you that are on here tonight are part of my virtual club. And they get the tutorial each month when they place their club order. So if you're interested in virtual club, contact me. There's some information too on my website, www.ddstamps.com. Amy had a question. If we'd like to order, we have until Sunday. Yes, you have until Sunday to email me or place it online, and using the hostess code. That's the part I want people to realize. That's how I know that it became part of this party. So to place an order, you can do it in my online store. You can use the hostess code by Sunday, September 14th. And then I'm going to go ahead this time again, and we're going to do another drawing for that Good Greetings stamp set. Let me show you what it looks like. This is it. It has all these great stamps in there. It's 19 stamps. It's only available. It's an exclusive to hostesses. So it's a great time to try to win one of those. But that's the stamp set that I'm going to give away. I'm going to go back up here because I want to talk to you a little bit about the hostess code. So if you place an order and you want to be a part of this, use this hostess code that's down here, right here. And that goes in, if you're online, it goes in the online shopping cart. You click your products, click shopping cart. There's a little at the bottom, it has a little where promo code goes. Put that into the hostess code and click apply, and then it will be attached to this party, and so I'll know that make sure you get in on that drawing for the Good Greetings stamp set. Does that make sense? I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. So there is the hostess code, and ordering by Sunday, everybody will get put into an drawing for this stamp set. And if your order's over 40, you'll go ahead and you'll get the tutorial for this month. So does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Thank you, Audrey. Glad to see you're here. Hi, Joy. Good to see you are here. Leslie asked, have you used the Memento in place of the StazOn? You know, Leslie, I haven't with that technique of making your own ink pad because Memento ink is a water-based ink and StazOn is an alcohol-based ink. And my fear would be that Memento ink would bleed because it's water-based and so are the refills that you use. I think that if you use them together, it's going to bleed. So I like to use a permanent ink, such as StazOn. Now, another thing you can do if you don't have StazOn and you don't want to try Memento, try a really light, we're talking light color. You know, a light, almost like crumb cake or craft, so that if it does bleed, it's not going to change your colors too tremendously. Does that make sense to people? I hope that answers that question. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, so just so you're aware, if you're on YouTube, there's a link down in the comment section for the door prize slip and also a link to my online store. Same goes for Facebook. There's a big green button. One says click here to shop online and one says door prize drawing. Don't forget to do the door prize. And if you're on my website, there are links underneath the Underneath the video that you're watching on my website, there are still a few people there that have a link to the door prize drawing, a link to the online store, and actually a link to a wish list form. And then the hostess code is there too. Don't forget to put that hostess code. If you do forget, text me or email me or contact me somehow and let me know, because I can get it switched, but I won't know if you don't tell me. So let's see. So you really like the wreath, but you don't have the big shot. Can I still make a cool card? Yes, Amy, you can still make a cool card. The framelits that Stampin' Up! Sells can be used in the big shot, and they can also be used in the Cuttlebug if you have that. If you don't have that, the wreath is still awesome, and it still layers just as much fun. It's going to be harder if you decide to cut it out, but you don't have to cut it out. It looks good on a piece of just a basic card. It looks fabulous. I love that wreath. Okay. I'm still looking here. I got lots of compliments on the felt idea. Yeah, it's a fun technique. It's a really fun technique. Kathy, you're welcome for the helpful hints. She says, love your hints and tips, especially the hint of using felt to stamp wooden stamps. Yeah, you could actually use that felt too with your clear mounts and your photopolymers. I just happen to prefer wood. But I have to be honest with you, I am starting to love those photopolymers. I'm still not so sure about the clear mounts. I don't know why. But I do like the photopolymer that we have, and I love the wood. I always have loved the wood. So does anybody else have any more questions? If not, I think we're probably going to wrap her up here pretty soon. I wanted to go 45 minutes, and I see I've already gone over a little bit, but as long as I'm helping you answer questions, I'm okay with that. Don't forget to fill out your door prize drawing, and don't forget your hostess code. And here we go. If anybody has any more questions, I'd love to help you out. So I'll give you just a few more minutes to think of anything. Otherwise, I am going to be around this evening. I'm going to be sticking around on the various sites to try to answer people's questions. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to our next time. There's a lot of fun stuff. Oh, does the magnetic plate for the big shot fit in the Cuttlebug? Nope. I hate to break the news to you, Julie, but no, our magnetic plate is just a little bit too thick, too fat for the Cuttlebug, so it doesn't work, which is a bummer. But you can still use the framelits. You just don't get the joy of having that, the joy of having the magnetic plate. Thank you, Lisa, for the compliment about the Wondrous wreath tip. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to stick around. Some people got in a little bit late, and so they're like a couple minutes behind us, and they're probably still asking questions. So enjoy. Thank you. I look forward to sending you a thank you card this month, and I look forward to sending out those 3 birthdays. So happy birthday. Have a great night. Let's hope the sun shines tomorrow in Red Lodge so we can get rid of some of the snow. No, it's going to. It's not here to stay. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day or night. Bye.